Hello everybody, Randy Adkins here with more Shadowbringers. I actually, in case you missed last stream, my title was starting 5.3, but I actually just did all of 5.3. It was like a Friday night, I believe, and it was like a 7-hour stream or something. I don't know, it was a while, but I did all of 5.3, so we are getting ready to start 5.4. So we're getting close to the end. I'm really starting to get excited. I mean, I've been excited this whole time. Like, this story has been so amazing. Basically all of 5.3 was just a big feels trip, and what was it called? The Seed of Seed of Sacrifice. That fight took us a few tries, but oh, I loved the part in the middle after, I believe it was right after the active time battle part, where you get, and then I loved it. But anyway, let's get started with 5.3. So let's go ahead and get in game, and we will go ahead and go. Oh. There we go. All right. Oh.
I suppose we ought to take stock of the situation. By forestalling the 8th Umbral calamity, we have run unwritten history. The future now lies beyond my ken. None can say what awaits, but so long as we stand together, I doubt not but that we can overcome all trials. We have always done so, have we not?
Oh, I gotta see what this does.
Well now, I have my suspicions as to what this is about, but would you be so good as to confirm them for me? Aye, just as I thought. They went ahead with it after all. The artisans of the mean had come to me with a proposal, you see. In celebration of the knight's return, they asked how I wished to be commemorated, on a coin or as an automaton. Neither, I replied, for all the good it did. They knew I would be embarrassed. It makes no difference what name they give it. Yet still they did it. A right stubborn lot they are, as befits the people of the Crystarium. They shall be just fine without me, and Lena may rest assured I do not worry for them. Nevertheless, I shall never cease to pray for their happiness. No longer am I a leader of a nation. Whatever power and influence I may have wielded, I left behind as surely as I left my body. But everything I have ever felt and experienced, all of these things and more, I have brought with me. You have brought for me. And I shall carry them close to my heart always, unto the end of my days.
Aww.
Thanks to your reports, I had known that all was well in the source, but there is no relief like seeing our comrades again with my own eyes.
I'm pretty sure I talked to them when I played last time.
If possible, I should like to thank Estinian in person. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming... While things are quiet, I think I'll move my body around some more. Need to get used to the new tricks I learned in the first. To that end, I'll round up Hori and his crew for a spot of sparring. Oh, and Graha too. In my capacity as his senior, I'm obligated to train him as well. In Japanese, she would have referred to herself as his senpai, because that's what that actually means. Everyone likes the garments I prepared for them. The time I spent polishing my skills wasn't in vain. In case you... Oh, okay, yeah, I talked to her also. No. Okay. Cryle. Go. Kryle's eyes light up at the sight of you. Oh, greetings, Rando. Come to look in on our friends. Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we?
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Yeah, I suppose. Stola.
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone!
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
Oh, he never met her. He, I guess, sort of met Ida, even though it was really her.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahat here, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the first. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Hard agree.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it.
Good old dumb Lise. Okay, so darkness. the opposite of light. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think Lisa's that dumb. She just...
Well, well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald, and we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Oh, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you use to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
Consider yourself uninvited.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting.
What meeting was that?
I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
He likes
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
She's so embarrassing. I love it.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
I knew Kryl would be laughing. I knew Kryl would
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
Oh. I love all my friends. Nice. This is a pretty big room. This room wouldn't actually fit where it is in the Rising Stones, because the wall comes out this way and the door's right there, but then it immediately goes back to the area where just before I came in here, Alfino and Alize were sitting, like just immediately next to the door. So I mean, I suppose there could be another door. It could be that we go down and then we turn, and this door's, on the back wall, I suppose. But I mean, I don't think the Rising Stones itself fits in the actual out in the world building, but
Don't worry. I can say with complete confidence that Graha is dressed for anything.
thank you, Tataru. That's what I was worried about.
When Y'shtola's about, one cannot afford even the slightest slip.
True. I love it.
When I set out to save Halric, I think Gabu was always at the back of my mind, and having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I am convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the ether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant, and though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alize, and it warrants full investigation. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness, not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Beck Lug would remind us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know the Allagans took a more than passing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be found anywhere, it will surely be at the Etherochemical Research Facility. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Azizla, which means we'll be needing an airship.
That is the scariest face.
An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silvertear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel.
Oh. I guess that's not how I thought it was. I thought this part was like out further toward us. But even still, like there are windows here. So it's got to be like a hallway and then a door going back. Like a hallway here and then a door going back this way. Real!
While Thancred and Urianger are off to Garlemald, I'll keep the information flowing freely between us and the Alliance. After all, close coordination's the key to winning this war.
I like Real. He's a good guy. Tataru, why are you wearing a pink version of the Ironworks uniform? Okay. I need disappear myself and my minion. Actually, that's what I thought. But also, so I can put it in Discord. Okay. Sorry. I didn't even notice the airship is pink. Did Tataru buy an airship?
I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones, and named her for luck and prosperity. Tataru, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but you built an entire airship. I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coinkeeper. I'd also like to introduce myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead.
Okay.
The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around Azisla. But enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard! Did I ever mention that I was fond of flying? Because I am. Be it on an airship, an Amaro, or a chocobo. There is nothing so exhilarating as feeling the wind on your face as the horizon unfolds before you. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way that airship flies. Tataru has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on Azisla, and Alphino's report did not do the scale of this place justice. So this is where you had your reckoning with Thordan. I wish I'd been with you. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and... yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Azisla, I do have some familiarity with the place, thanks to the records in the Crystal Tower. Unless I am mistaken, this path leads to an aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. Yeah, and over here is where you do your relic weapon for Heaven's Word. Apparently I do not know how to operate the terminal. Time for our authority on Allagan artifacts to show what he can do. And here's the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to temporary. Ah, there we are. Iconic corruption, an overview. That sounds promising. Indeed. Let us see what the report has to say. Confound it. The contents appear to have been deleted. What? No, isn't there something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid. But there may be another copy of the report. But it may be that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say it is a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he would have had quarters in the Habisphere. We can ascertain the details at Habisphere Control. Let us return to the Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the ship. We'll see you at the Habisphere. I have many. Here, let me... Just for solidarity. We'll use a mana cutter. It's weird to think that all of this land was likely out of the burn. My mana cutter's bigger than hers. The mana cutters appear to be ironworks made, but I dare say Tataru will craft her own soon enough. It's quite possible. I'll take a pink mana cutter. If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, this node will be able to tell us its number. There, from what I recall of the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning. An evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Habisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbral Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Bzz. Energy level critical. Returning to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access. Force, for example. Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form at points of stagnant ether throughout the continent. You seem to recall? Are you honestly telling me that was in the records too? I am. A report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning-aspected ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you. But in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much Allagan knowledge. Besides, my studies helped me to feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, it is more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the Beta Quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They won't manifest where they are wont to manifest where the ether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. First to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? Very well. It would be my honor to come third.
Oh, Grahatia, you're such a fanboy and I love it.
Bravo, that was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours.
See, I knew that when I didn't remember that it was when we first met him, but I remember that there was something that happened where it was like, oh, you need this rain, this whatever aspected something or other. Well,
Oh, you remember that? In my defense, I was caught up in the moment. It isn't every day you meet an honest-to-God's hero, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you'd better hurry back. Ah, but one last thing. Thank you, Rando, for bringing me here.
I was gonna say, wasn't I just barely inside?
You have a shard? Then you win. I searched high and low, but couldn't find so much as a trace of stagnant ether. It appears Alize had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now, then may I have the shard? What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? Oh, that was Alize. That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal from Rando, and not only about the secrets of adventuring. But come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended. We now have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security systems within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture unmolested. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, yes. But if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise me that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck.
The only thing I can think of about what Alize was complaining about is, once again, Pint's video, where he was like, I would save the princess. So I opened my map and ran to her exact location.
Nothing to do but sit tight. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption and overview sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the combat applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alfner's was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Sharlayan's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star, in direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his views, and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently, by which I mean the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admire him for it.
I love the twins. And when the other one's not looking, they show that they actually care about each other so much.
I should have liked to meet the young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the Allagan civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Baldessian convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough about that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Bloop. Initializing, scanning for registered user.
I'm a registered user.
User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Boop. Verifying. Boop. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I am at your most humble service, Your Highness. It never ceases to amuse me. 'Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Une said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Iconic corruption. An overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Well, go on then, Your Highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right, let's see. Glory be to Alag. Long live Emperor Zande. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... Owen. Password. The notion that the password could be something so inane would be laughable, were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did that thing just call me? Wild Rose Wild Rose was the Scion thing. Courage? Password incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and manually extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it's them.
Or Wedge, rather.
Come, let us bear the node back to the Rising Stones. password. Lord. Threat detected. Fine, I'll let Sid try his hand first, but if that doesn't work, we're doing it my way. Lord. I should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambrose did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is no pretext, however much I might look forward to seeing him again. Him and everyone. But come, let us be on our way. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? He's so excited to be doing stuff, especially with me. It's very cute. Rising Stones. Rude and disrespectful. Large, low-born presence detected. Kryle's back too. I wonder what was decided at the council. I'm pleased to see your mission was a success, and in no small part due to the bonanza. I take it you have news to share. So do I. Wonderful news, Rando. Tataru contacted Sid on our behalf, and he's on his way here even as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Kryle? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Doman allies, the War of Succession rages on, and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions and the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Third, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus? Aren't they the ones who took in Yotsuyu and Asahi? This bodes well. Xenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred and Urianger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, and so, thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the Beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem easily solved. The Lominsons in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alphino and Y'shtola have been called upon to aid them. So long as we are dealing with the tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why don't you make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I'll show Sid in as soon as he arrives. Respite? Invisible walls taking all my fun. Let's talk to everybody first. Warning, His Highness is exhibiting elevated blood pressure. Sid, at long last. As important as Gabu is to me, I know only too well how much more is at stake here. A cure could change the whole world. So we wait. Sid. Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, our hands are full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. Ha! I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something. What is it?
So this node's being a jerk.
Well, a treatment for tempering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allagan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly. And thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably configured, a Magitech terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that it might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambrose. It contains an Allagan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to the terminal and set it to work right away. I wonder if we're just going to adopt this node to... It's round. Oh, no, it was round. It was the other one that was a square. Ah, looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Ha. Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, milady. Node. Open the report entitled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to an alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, the soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend Sephiroth would cause the subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subject are not solely attributable to elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged or stagnant during the process. This stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon, their prayers serving to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at a great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Ammon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my impertinence, I have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in hope that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. So not even the Allagans were able to find a cure, or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Ammon's decision. More importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, we may well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. If we could only make them remember who they were. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation. That is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith, which had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light-corrupted would help us identify suitable memories for reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, and you are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. Then perhaps it's better we consider another approach. Your doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics. Which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identified the password, but it will take more calculating power, a lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective, I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. You two, round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Lucky we have you to help, eh? Interesting. Suffice it to say, I shall be of whatever help I can. All those Magitech terminals won't come cheap. Shut up, Tataru. Some things you shouldn't put a price on. We're getting there, Rando, one step at a time. As with our first foray into the labyrinth of the ancients, we seek to venture into the unknown, and in order to succeed, we require not only knowledge and preparation, but daring besides, just like old times. Ugh. Right, while Grahatia and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, ceruleum to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers to go on the gathering spree. In that case, I'll trust Rando and Alize with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Skysteel Manufactory in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalan. The people there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's the same to you, I'll head to Thanalan. Am I gonna see Baymeric while I'm there? Or Estinian? Or Dayad? How much is it to teleport from here? Like, I'm cheap when it comes to teleporting. If I can spend, you know, several seconds flying somewhere and have it be a lot cheaper, I will do that. Oh, what an appropriate mount for going to Ishgard. It's pretty much directly north, right? Oh, it's actually this way a little bit. Hello, Morocco. Oof, there it is. It looks so much smaller from this far away.
Sorry, my brother texted me. You stand in the Sky Still Manufactory. What is it you require? So you were after ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer at the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Open my phone. My mom apparently gave him a whole pan of peanut butter fudge, and he wants to know if I want some, and I said, of course, that's the kind of fudge that I like. Ceruleum? You've come to the right man. Fair warning, though. The price has shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. In fact, I have an IOU. Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that it's a problem. It's as good as gold to me. I do get to see Baymerick!
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places.
Yay! Sorry. Yay, Baymerick.
As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find.
Oh, is he just gonna walk up on us talking? Is he just gonna walk up on us talking, please?
I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you?
I was just hoping he'd just come walking up from the side.
But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day?
I needed some gas for Sid.
A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed.
Imric, I'm gonna need you to calm down a little bit. Just a little bit. Just, you're here. Can you just bring it just right down to like here? At least, if not a little lower.
Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
Nice. Thank you, Baimrek. Also, hello, Lucia. You are also great. I really hope nothing happens to this airship because it's basically just holding rocket fuel. Sid? Girl's just like, yeah, man, this is crazy. What's wrong, Alize?
Oh, who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much?
Oh.
Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Ugh, Alize, did you bring the ceruleum all by yourself?
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it.
Yeah, I ran into Baimrek and he was
Lord
like,
Emmerich,
"Here."
eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
Oh God. Is this...
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering. But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allagans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
It's like, oh, Sid didn't think he could figure this out on his own? Well, what if I figured it out?
Ask Jessie. She was the one who hired you. All I know is you're an employee of the Ironworks now, so you'll bloody well earn your keep.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel, not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
I love Nero.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
I really like Joe Cat's theory that like they used to date and this has just been their dynamic since they broke up.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Oh, Nero got a little bit of scruff going.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while. Damn it. It's overloading.
Chief! She won't last much longer!
Okay, Scotty.
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh!
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There! I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
It's just as well. She'll never run again.
Oh, poor Wedge.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
So we finally have it, the cure for tempering. All that remains is to put it to use. I shall be praying for your success on the front lines. In the end, we didn't have to pay for the terminals, which is great for us, but I can't help but feel for my counterpart in the ironworks. Alas, the ironworks crew couldn't linger long. Far too much to do, yet brief though our time together was, it was bloody good to see them.
Sorry, he's supposed to be coming over and keeping an eye on whether he's here yet. Alize has only one thing on her mind.
At long last, we have a cure. In theory, at any rate. We cannot be certain until such time as we put it to the proof, but I am quietly confident. Well, if we're to test it on someone, then I suggest Gabu. His symptoms are relatively mild. As long as you exercise due caution. Yes, as long as we exercise due caution, it will be fine. Without further ado, let's make for Limsa. We've kept Gabu waiting long enough. Limsa Lominsa, you say? Why, that's where I can teleport for free. I spent 0 gil. Right. To the aft castle. It's plain Alize is very fond of Gabu. To the extent that I have a hand in it, I shall do all in my power to bring him back. Well, this is the moment of truth. I'll have our hosts bring Gabu to us at once. My baby. I love him. He's so cute.
Apologies for the wait.
Gabu, have you been good?
Still no change, I'm afraid. He just stands there in silence until we move him.
It's all right now. We're going to help you get better.
Fancy meeting you here.
Alphino Yushtola! I thought you were attending to primal matters.
We were, and came here for a meeting on the subject. Certain pirate factions did not deign to attend, however, and it was cancelled.
We had resigned ourselves to having wasted a journey when we chanced to espy you. Could it be that there has been progress with the treatment?
Yeah, so we wired a bunch of computers together and ended up frying them, but
using Magitech terminals to formulate the solution. I would never have contemplated such an approach.
So this new magic, adapted from memory transference, would be used to purge the subject of their fanatical faith, while Angelo would be responsible for reanimating the ether of their soul. Yet I wonder at the practicalities. If one were to reanimate the soul first, it would only serve to exacerbate the tempering. Conversely, a stagnant soul would not respond to the effects of the magic. Would both need to be performed simultaneously?
Nothing escapes Master Matoya's inquiring eye. As you say, both must be carried out simultaneously. And thus, I propose to imbue Angelo with the tempering treatment in much the same manner as I did the spirit vessels.
By doing so, we also spare Graha the trouble of casting spell after spell. It's really rather efficient.
Be that as it may, certain difficulties are unavoidable. The imbuing process will still require no small amount of ether. And, as I can no longer draw upon the Crystal Tower's stores of energy, I will be compelled to rely on those of others.
Well, I, for one, would be glad to assist.
That was a very weird way of saying that, Alphino, but okay.
As would I. Since the resumption of our duties, it has been naught but stuffy meetings, and I have ample ether to spare.
Excellent. With your permission, then, let us begin. Yes, this will do! And now, it's my turn. Tis done.
No small amount indeed.
Well, we seek to go where even the Allegans did not. It was never like to be easy. The rest is up to you, Alize. The treatment itself will take time and focus, so we will need a quiet room. I'm sure our hosts can spare one. I will go with her. It may be a while before we return, so I would ask for your patience and your faith.
Of course, go fix my baby.
We'll bring Gabu back. You see if we don't.
'Twould seem our part is played. Let us find a place to recuperate while we wait for news.
Okay, well, my brother's about here, so... I will be right back. So... Oh, this is cute. Where did we go? I don't even know where we are. Oh, okay. So we're still on the upper deck, so I think we're just on the other side.
Alize will succeed, I'm certain of it. We need but have faith. Well, this seems as good a spot as any to have a rest.
For years, Eorzea has labored to find a solution to the primal problem, without success. Any hope that tempering could be reversed faded long ago. I myself had given it up as impossible. Given up on the tempered and the light corrupted alike. They were problems to be tolerated, or else eliminated, I believed. And to think otherwise was pure naivety. Childishness, even. But Alize refused to give up. She struggled and she struggled. And her efforts were rewarded with a way to bring back Halric. And now countless others may no longer be beyond salvation. However much we bicker, I have the greatest respect for my sister. Had I half her stubbornness, nay, her unwillingness to accept the status quo, I would be a far better person. A far better scion.
See, this is what I was talking about before. I love it when when they're not together and express how much they care about each other. Yeah, it's not my place to tell him what she said. Don't tell me, tell her.
I should, I know. Yet, despite my good intent, I have the feeling that I would only succeed in incurring her ire. Alize, are you all right?
The treatment. Did it work?
Oh, I'm so glad to see you all. Delighted, happy, glad.
Gaboo!
He saved the baby.
All this time, my mind was filled with thoughts of Great Father Titan. But I never forgot about Mother and Father. Always, they were in my heart. Constantly, ever, always. So I tried to focus on their faces. Theirs and yours. Alize's and everyone's. And I found that I could remember. One thing, then another, and another.
Your hopes reached Gaboo. They helped him to hold on.
I'm so proud of you, Gaboo.
I couldn't have done it without you, Alize. Can you help the others too? Cure them, heal them, help them?
Yes, we can. All of them.
Without wishing to dampen the mood, I feel compelled to add certain caveats regarding the viability of the treatment for general use. As you know, reversing the effects of tempering demands a profuse amount of ether. And while Alize was able to heal Gaboo alone, I fear the same will not be true for those who exhibit more advanced symptoms. Moreover, the treatment's effects are limited to the soul. It offers no succor to those whose very flesh has been altered through prolonged exposure to a primal's influence. All of which is to say that we cannot save everyone.
Maybe we can't, or maybe we can. No one gave us a hope of saving Gaboo, and yet here we are. We must find a way to treat as many as possible.
Then, the next logical step would be to produce a veritable army of Porkses, would it not? Granted, it seemed a simple enough process in the first, but I suspect it will be different here in the source. Not that I am any authority, of course.
Yet there is an authority on familiars to whom we may grudgingly turn. She's stubborn, haughty, eccentric, irascible, laconic, annoying. And her name is Master Matoya, the real one.
I have to go now, Gaboo, but the people here will look after you, all right? And I promise to come and visit you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Alize. Thank you.
They saved the baby. I love that they saved the baby. You may recall that in order to procure the ingredients for Angelo, we had no choice but to surrender ourselves to the whims of the pixies. But I should have done so with far better grace had I known what we would go on to achieve. We did it! We brought Gaboo back. And if I have any say in the matter, he'll be the first of many. Alize will be exhausted from her efforts. But you wouldn't think so to look at her now. If she is ready to press on, then so am I. Of course, a trace of a wry smile is visible on Y'shtola's lips. As she will be at pains to remind me, I have not paid Master Matoya a visit since returning from the first, but this seems as good a time as any. Come, let us make for her cave. Indeed, let us do. Idle share. I'm so happy they helped the baby. I love the baby. That is not at all what I expected his voice to be like, but you know. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the fact that I don't know that I've ever really heard the zone music for here, because I'm basically always mounted and I used to never have my mount music turned off. Master Matoya is something of a legend among Archons. I very much look forward to meeting her, if not the dressing down I am liable to receive from my inept attempts at summoning you. Yeah, probably. Do you remember, when last we came here, I was told to find out why the others had collapsed? If someone had told me that they'd been whisked away to another world, I would probably have laughed in their face. You live and learn, eh? It has been some time since Master Matoya last saw Y'shtola. What a lot they will have to talk about. I take it you are ready to bear witness to the joyous reunion of master and pupil. Very well. I love it.
Nary a word from you all this time, then you bring every man and his pirogo with you. Did no one teach you any manners, girl?
They were too busy teaching me etherology, Master. Jesting aside, I wanted to be the one to express our gratitude. I am told you spared no effort to sustain our bodies while we were away, and for that, we owe you our lives. Thank you.
You were gone so long. I was starting to think you'd set your heart on staying.
It wasn't easy to leave, as it happens. Seldom does one have the opportunity to study other worlds, and I would not have minded extending my stay by a handful of years.
Ever the scholar. Y'shtola dedicated herself to studying ancient civilizations of the First, befriending a tribe known as the Knights Blessed in the process. There she took on the name of Matoya and won the respect of all the children of the forest.
He did the teapot point.
I merely adopted an alias in accordance with the custom of my hosts. Yours just happened to be the first name that came to mind.
Alphino, you have no sense of subtlety. And no sense of what their relationship dynamic is. Jeez. I mean, you should. It's not incredibly unlike you and your sister.
You mean to tell me you went gallivanting about using my name and only bother to visit when you need a favor? And don't pretend you don't. I taught you long enough.
Indeed. And devoted pupil that I am, I could not fail to recall my master's sage advice. When the answer eludes you, look to the wisdom of your elders.
You there. Were you going to introduce yourself?
How remiss of me. Grahatir is my name, and I'm proud to call myself a scion. I too wish to offer my gratitude for your invaluable aid in sustaining the Archon's bodies, as well as my apologies. It was my inexpert summoning spell which endangered their lives in the first place.
Ah, yes. The one bent on digging up the mysteries of Alag. Old Galaf used to speak of you, and Kryles told me all about your recent exploits. Do you have a bad back or something? At ease, boy. Whatever mess you've made, I'm not in the habit of dwelling on the failings of the younger generation.
Aren't you?
You are too kind. I've also heard much and more about you, Master Matoya. 'Tis an honor to finally make your acquaintance.
Well, that's more than enough pleasantries for anyone. Tell me what you want. I haven't got all day.
I love her.
So that's the way of it. It should be a simple enough matter to make the familiar. The magic, on the other hand.
Ah, that you may leave to me. Being the only one possessed of royal blood, I alone can imbue the subject with the necessary magic.
So I just need to create porxies with the power to stir the soul. Just, I say. Though we're talking about a veritable herd of the little buggers, we'd collapse before we reached double figures. But if I could get a familiar to create the familiars, a mother porxie, as it were. Seems I haven't seen the last of that moldy old hole after all.
A porxie that produces porxies. What an inspired idea. By the way, Rando, do you think I misspoke earlier? I assure you it was not my intention to embarrass anyone.
Yes, I think you misspoke earlier. Good lord.
In case you've ever wondered, Alphino got his innocent streak from our mother. And and it can be rather endearing, even useful in certain situations. But most of the time, it just makes me want to shake her. Poor Y'shtola. Indeed. Where does she mean, do you think? Some manner of hidden workshop, perhaps? Moldy old hole. She must really miss this place. All right, off to my old workshop then. Everything required to make your familiar is there. That may be, but no one has set foot in there since the Exodus. I dread to imagine what's become of it. Oh, there's sure to be a handful of feral familiars and mayhap a monster or two. But nothing to trouble the likes of you. You can consider cleaning up the place payment for my help. Fine, we'll do it. Good girl. Now, if there are no other objections, I suggest you run along to the Maker's Quarter. I'll send one of my pirogos ahead to lead you to the workshop. You need only tell him who you are. One can't be too careful after all. Off you go. What are you still doing here? Off to the Maker's Quarter with you. I'll join you when I'm ready. Go on now, shoo. I really like Master Matoya. When I saw the Shadowbringers trailer and I saw that Y'shtola was using the name Master Matoya, I thought something had happened to Master Matoya, and I was a little sad. Where are we at? Over by the library? No. The grass could certainly do with a trim. As I may have mentioned, Alize and I were still very young when we departed with the Exodus. I envy Y'shtola for remembering the city as it once was. The workshop was an unforgiving place even before the Exodus, and I doubt the years of neglect have improved it. Judging by the unruly state of the flora without, I think it's safe to assume there will be no shortage of unruly fauna within. Add to that the undisturbed secrets of the workshop, and we'll have the makings of an adventure. Too far from the vista. Oh, I wonder if it was up on top of the dome.
So that's the only place I was close enough to really anything that I would assume had a sightseeing log thing on it. Yeah. Okay. 31, and I'm assuming that this is here? No, probably over here. The Cenotaph, a towering monolith erected in tribute to the great scholars who have passed on, leaving behind the knowledge that has shaped the realm. The names of countless men of learning are etched in the mighty stone, along with the motto of Sharlayan, knowledge seeks no man. A cenotaph, fun fact, is a monument of someone's life that is not a grave. So cool. A test of the emergency alert system. Thank you, phone. All right. But yeah, cenotaph. It's like it's kind of like a gravestone, but it's not a grave. It's just the monument part. Yeah, because I noticed in my log that it's like you stray too far from the vista, and I'm like, when was I near a vista? All the way up there. Okay, and I've spoken to all my friends. Now I'm ready to talk to Purorogo the Unwashed. Greetings, Ribbit, and welcome to my good mistress's relict. Purorogo is my name, and I'm honored to be your guide. Within you will find a space dedicated to the making of familiars, along with a cavern wherein the requisite ingredients may be had. I must warn you, however, that the place has not played host to a single soul, much less a broom, in over 15 years, and will, I regret, be in some disarray. But rest assured, my brothers and I shall see to it you do not lose your way. Now then, Ribbit, only say the word and I will show you in. I'm assuming I can do this in a trust. Yes. Oh, but that means... But that means... Can I have him heal?
I stand ever ready.
Can I Gratia heal me? Like, I don't know. Alphino, he's a academician, which isn't a real thing, but... And I mean, I've had him tank and DPS for me, so now I get to have him heal. I wonder what class he's going to be.
Right. To begin with, I need you to gather a few ingredients. Listen well to what the Porogos say, or you'll wish you had.
First things first, we need to harvest some clay. The clay can be had at Clayclot Cauldron. Ribbit. Through this portal, if you would. What creatures have since taken up residence, I wonder? Whatever they are, we'll make short work of them. Oh, he's a white mage.
Allow me.
Yeah, I haven't played my Dark One in a while, which I say a lot, but it's always true.
I will not hold back!
Sunny as the dude.
Gloves are off.
Okay.
This is going to leave a mark. I will not hold back. Away with you!
Okay, so we've got the clay. Next, we need to get the water flowing again. Oh, so now the clay is here. Nice.
stubborn.
You're not even close enough to them for that to do anything. Oh, we're going down? Okay. Sure. Yeah, like my brain is not exactly in this. What is this Pokemon? What is this Pokemon I have to fight? Oh gods, it's still here.
Let's give them a go! going to leave a mark.
It's like, where are you guys going?
Stubborn.
You just need to not get hit by them? Is that what's happening? I don't know what's happening. I think that one might hit me.
This is going to leave a mark.
Allow me.
Okay, I don't know what am I supposed to do?
I will not hold back.
Like, I really, really don't know what's happening.
I will not hold back.
Okay, normally, you know, the NPCs give me an idea of what I need to do. I have no idea. Well, why didn't they show me that then? Like, nothing that they did would have indicated, because it seemed like they were completely avoiding all of the water spouts. But I have to step in one of the water spouts so that I get shot up to the cloud.
Stubborn.
On guard!
Allow me.
Am I supposed to land on one of these?
I will not hold back!
Okay. Nice. The water's flowing again. See, that's the thing. Like, usually when you're doing this in a trust, you can reasonably count on the NPCs to show you what you need to do when new mechanics come up. But they all, like, went to places where they were going to avoid being hit by any of those water spouts. But I needed to, in fact... I did it again. But I needed to, in fact, get hit by the water spouts so that I could get pushed up to where the cloud was. Ooh, this is pretty. I agree. Oh, I love this. Oh, I will fall behind if I want to, because...
I will not hold back!
Stubborn!
On guard! You underestimate me!
Allow me.
I love this. It's so pretty. Guys, you're gonna get hit by lightnings. Come on, come on. Guys, can you, I was like, please, please heal me.
This is going to leave a mark!
Allow me.
Oh, that's so cool. I love the rainbow magma.
Right then. Let's get this over with. Newborns are wont to be difficult. Sure, who's in charge?
See, one thing that I do know about this fight is that there is one point where it's like arrows from the back. But you also want to be like in the middle so you end up in the right place.
This is going to leave a mark!
Are we staying over here? Well, that was dumb. What are you doing? What are you doing over there casting holy?
Alize.
On guard!
The gloves are off.
Stubborn.
This is
There'll
going
be
to
nothing left of you but a smoking crater!
Yeah, Alfie, I have to say I definitely would have died trying to do those double pulls with you healing me. I'm sorry, but it's true.
There we are. Quite tame.
Then all that remains is for me to imbue her with the magic. My friends, I'm afraid I must trouble you for your ether once more. That should suffice.
Good. Let's set her to work then, shall we? I want to see some porkses. Assuming, that is, someone can spare the requisite energy. A mere drop in the ocean for the great sorceress Matoya, I dare say. Excellent. Our very own litter of Angelos. And we can make as many more as we want, simply by providing the Mother Porksy with additional ether.
I will require a moment before I try again.
It's still hard work, but a damn sight more efficient than making them one by one. Thank you, Master Matoya. Everyone, we're a step closer to our goal.
Yes, and we're gonna fix all the people who were tempered. Not all the
Distributed
people-
amongst the allied nations, they should do much to facilitate closer dialogue with the beast tribes. And given their present travails, I believe our friends in Limsa Lominsa should be the first beneficiaries.
Agreed. Though I must leave this errand to you. I doubt my legs will carry me out of the cave, much less to Vilbrand. Thank you for taking the lead in gathering the ingredients. I expect you would benefit from a rest too.
In addition to the Porksies, I trust you've gained an inkling of how much effort goes into the creation of familiars. Or mayhap you attribute your struggles to old age.
If I said yes, would it persuade you to treat me like an adult?
Not with that pertness, it wouldn't. Anyway, assuming you have no other favors to ask, I shall be leaving.
See, now this time it makes sense that Y'shtola is moving at cutscene speed because she just spent a whole bunch of her ether.
Forgive me if this is a silly question, but of all the creatures real and imagined, why choose a flying pig? Not that I dislike pigs, mind you. Given it was her first time making a Porksy, Master Matoya did a fine job, although she did have Angela for inspiration. Lest you wonder, Master Matoya has returned to her cave with Y'shtola. They are as peas in a pod, are they not? Okay, well. What do you have me do? Limsa Lominsa, okay. Alphino is eager to deliver the good tidings to Limsa Lominsa. Well then, my friends, let us return to Limsa Lominsa and deliver the good news to the Admiral. A word to the officer in the Bulwark Hall should be sufficient to secure us an audience.
Okay, well, I think that is going to do it for me for tonight. It's basically midnight now. Oh, excuse me, and I do have to work tomorrow. So, like I said, I do think I am going to call it. But, as always, depending on how I feel tomorrow, I may stream tomorrow. We'll just have to see. But that, like I said, will do it for tonight. So I will